Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to week 5. I thought last week was off to a really great start, and I'd like to point out that a lot of you actually took me up on my desire to see us get like more engaged and sort of more directly engaged with the concepts that are floating around in the readings, and taking them to task and working through them and seeing if we think we agree with them. I thought it was really great that John and Nicholas both got at the idea that maybe we don't need constructivism to explain state behavior. Maybe rational choice models are actually sufficient, right? And I thought that was really important, right? To highlight that at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is vet each of these approaches and to see if they actually give us the capacity to explain state behavior more rigorously. And if they don't, then maybe we don't take them up. I also liked to point out that Lita's point about methodology was really important, right? How we think about international politics is really going to be directed by our theories, and we should be very careful with that. But I do want to point out that I thought that Scott did a really great job at really focusing in on the idea of arguing what it looks like, how it would progress, and sort of engaging with that material and thinking through, well, what does it mean for states to argue with each other, and through that process maybe come to terms of what they both agree and what they both expect from each other. And what that's really important is that allows us to get into some interesting debates, right? Nicholas had made a really great point about how there seems to be a nuclear taboo, right? We seem to have argued about the relevance of nuclear weapons to the international system to the point where states have accepted that it's not reasonable to use them. But why is that different than using really large conventional weapons, right? And I thought that was a really great way to sort of get at this argument and unpack it. There were a few things I wanted to bring up. I sort of wanted to sort of again stress, because it showed up in the forums last week, that while yes, individual states and leaders may use one of these theories as a foundation for their own approach, in our world, what they're used for is analyzing the international system. So states do not have realist or liberal approaches. It's whether or not the international system is best explained using realist principles, liberal principles, constructivist principles, right? What's really important is that in order to suss that out and figure out which approaches are really helpful or not, I thought it was great to look at Valerie's discussion about specific types of norms, right? Valerie took that extra step and really started talking about, okay, what kind of norms would we expect? Where would we go look for them? And engage in a little bit of reflection about whether or not we really see them. So that's all really great, right? I think that was really good. This week, I wanted to let you know that we're going to engage with critical theory for the first time, right? The idea that the international system, what orders it, and what sort of shapes state interactions is really heavily influenced by particular hierarchies of power, right? We're going to engage with Marxist theory, post-colonial theory, and critical theory in general, right? The idea that these ideas about the international system and how it should be are open to criticism, right? We can unpack them, we can look at them, we can deconstruct the assumptions that come with them in order to try to identify new ways forward, right? So I'm really interested to get into that with you, because really what we've reached is a hinge point in the term, where we've established the sort of heterodox approaches, right? The ones that say there is a theory, there is a system out there beyond our sort of direct control that shapes state interaction. What we're trying to do is explain them, and entering into sort of a secondary set of literatures that says, no, these systems are actually really heavily shaped by particular configurations of power. And as theorists, we really need to spend some time thinking about them and deconstructing them. I'd also like to point out your second writing assignment is due this week, right? Hopefully you've had a chance to sort of look at it, right? And again, what we're doing is we're trying to figure out sort of what world we live in, right? Make an analytical, theoretical point, and then allow that to drive our perspectives on topical events like the war in Ukraine, right? Also, I wanted to point out that I did give you all feedback from last week, but if you wanted to discuss it with me more directly, please don't hesitate to reach out during my office hours or by phone. I won't be in the office for my office hours this Thursday, but I will be traveling with my phone. So if you do want to call me, you can go ahead and do that. Also, finally, as a note, I won't be able to attend the Zoom call this week because I'm away at a conference in St. Louis. What I'll be doing is posting some further directions and some discussion questions for the group. So those of you who do log in, you'll have a chance to, I'll set it up to record automatically. You'll have a chance to discuss those. What I generally do is I'll listen back to it as quickly as I can over the weekend, add some comments, and make it available to everybody else. So things are looking really good. We're sort of marching along through the semester at a pretty brisk pace. I'm looking forward to getting your reflections on critical theory and seeing you in the discussion forums.